Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And grab your coffee, I have mine, grab your tea, your water, your glass of wine, whatever you're gonna have, hot chocolate maybe even. I was actually just looking out on the patio, I was like, could it be? And I'm so excited because if you listen to my vlogs, you know that I love Christmas and I love winter, really until about December 26th. Then I'm like, okay, it can get warm again, I just want it for Christmas. But it's been kind of like light snow flurries all day today, like not a lot. I know that there are other places in the United States right now that are getting tons of snow, but in Indiana, this is actually really early for us to even just have some flurries. And I've been in such a great mood today. I got up and I went to my personal training. This was like my legit very first personal training appointment. The last time that I went for just kind of like doing some tests and things like that, but today was my first one, and he like put me on a new diet, like with proteins and carbs and all that kind of stuff, and explained it all to me, and I'm so excited, kind of a little nervous about it at the same time. But then I went and I got coffee, and I came home and I did a face mask, and I took a shower, did my prayers, did my meditations, all that kind of stuff. I've just had such a fantastic day. And I love this kind of weather, especially in December, which it's not, but it's almost December. So anyway, I was just like looking out here. Our patio is gray, like the wood on our patio is gray, and then our patio furniture is gray too. And so I was like, is that snow? What is it? And it's actually, there's like a little bit of snow on the patio furniture on the patio. So that even makes me happier. Okay, so today I am going to read 2 meditations for you. I was actually going to talk about, after I got ready today, I went down in the basement, I was doing some laundry, and my husband has been on me about getting this basement cleaned forever, okay? Forever. And it is a mixture of my stuff and my mom's stuff. A lot of it has been down there for 10 years since she's been passed away, and it's time, you know? So I was gonna make this whole video on like, when the timing is right, because I sat down there today, and I have to be honest with you, like the majority of it is clothes and books. And I literally probably, okay, let me give a really fair estimate. I bet I have 20 to 25 huge boxes of books in the basement. Some of mine, some of my mom's, but mostly mine that I brought in here in the last 10 years. And I'm going through, I just have such a hard time letting go of books and whatever. I'm like, I always think, well, I'll read it. I went through today and I now have 4 huge boxes ready to go to half-price books. So I was like in this cleaning frenzy today, and I don't know what it was, but I just was like, okay, I can do this today. Like I am in the mood to get this done today, you know? And I think sometimes it has to do with when the timing's right. And I know that people ask me a lot about grieving and how do you do things and, you know, get rid of things. And I think also for me, for the basement, it's like the only time I go down there is to do laundry. So it's not like I'm hanging out down there. So it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But like our closet, you know, like before we really moved in here, my mom, like her stuff was in there. And Alex said to me one day, he was like, babe, when are you gonna go through that stuff? And you know what was so weird? I had such a hard time going through my mom's clothes and her bags and shoes and stuff. One day I went in there with trash bags, and let me just tell you, my mother had some very nice things. I won't even get on here and talk about some of the things that I could have sold on eBay, okay? Because I'm so pissed about it. But I just had one of those days, and I call them mom days, where I just was like, you know, so ready to get rid of that stuff. And what I realized was, it's just not gonna make me feel, and we're gonna talk about awareness today, and this is part of that. You know, I'm just not gonna sit there and look at a sweater for the next 20 years. You know, there are small things of my mom's I've kept, like little pieces of her jewelry or notes that she's written to me or a picture or things like that. But by and large, like clothes, shoes, bags, those are not things I'm just gonna sit there and look at and go, I mean, maybe a sweater, if you know, like you have a husband or wife or somebody that passed away that you're gonna smell every once in a while, it has their smell on them. But not by and large things that are sitting in dry cleaning bags, you know what I mean? So I finally just one day went in there with trash bags and just got rid of all of it, and I took them to the dumpster, and then after that I was like, what did I just do? Like I threw away some very expensive stuff that I could have made some money on. But you know what? It didn't matter, it's just stuff, and I felt so much better afterwards anyway. And that is totally what my mom would have said to me too. She would have said, Peter, it's just stuff. It is just stuff, and we don't take it with us. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at today. Whew. Where are you at today? Okay, today there are 2 meditations I want to read. One is from yesterday and one is for today. And they are from The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. And the reason that I'm reading both of them is that I just think they're such superb meditations, and they're very simple and they're short. And they kind of, in a weird way, go together. So I want to read these to you. And the first one's of something that I talk about a lot. Awareness, November 25th. So this is from yesterday. When we first become aware of a problem, a situation, or a feeling, we may react with anxiety or fear. There is no need to fear awareness, no need. Awareness is the first step toward positive change and growth. It's the first step toward solving the problem or getting the need met. The first step toward the future. It's how we focus on the next lesson. Awareness is how life, the universe, and our higher power get our attention and prepare us for change. The process of becoming changed begins with awareness. Awareness, acceptance, and change. That's the cycle. Awareness, acceptance, change. We can accept the temporary discomfort from awareness because that's how we're moved to a better place. We can accept the temporary discomfort because we can trust God and ourselves. Today, I will be grateful for any awareness I encounter. I will display gratitude, peace, and dignity when life gets my attention. I will remember that it's okay to accept the temporary discomfort from awareness because I can trust that it's my higher power moving me forward. And I think it's such a great meditation. And I talk about this on my vlog, all the time, that like awareness is like the first key to anything, right? And, like I talk a lot about addiction on here, so I'm going to use that for, as an example. I think that long before we're ever really willing to get some help, that there's an awareness that we have inside of us, right? Like, okay, this might be a problem. There might be something wrong, you know what I mean? And I think that awareness is kind of like a red flag that's built inside of us when we see something and we're like, all of a sudden, and I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but like awareness is like, literally becoming aware that there's a problem here, and that we need to take a look at it. And it could be some character or defect that we're acting out on. It could be some behavior that we're acting out on. It could be something about ourselves that isn't helping us grow. It's an obstacle to growth. It could be addiction. It could be whatever, it could be many things. But awareness is the first sign of that, right? And I know that for like family members and friends, it's often it's a struggle when we see somebody aware, but they aren't willing to do anything about it. Well, I don't know about you, but in my life, I don't know many people that are willing to make any changes in their life if they haven't had some kind of awareness first, if that makes sense, right? And, this is why for me, like, okay, and just talking about addiction, with friends of mine or family members that I have had to go to before and say, I'm very concerned about you, okay? Your substance use seems to be taking over your life. If there's anything that I can do, please let me know. And I, sit down, and that's not I have a little bit more of a conversation than that. But I say it one time. I don't badger that person over and over and over again. I don't continue to go to that person and go, I offered you my help, you didn't want it. Are you going to get some help? Like, what are you going to do? Because I'm a believer that when somebody's had enough pain, they'll make some changes. And I'm a believer that, we have to be aware of what, like, our life is going to look like without that. It's like, there is a saying in recovery that there's, like, by the time that we made it in, there was no more giggle left in the bottle. Well, for me, there was a lot of giggle left in the bottle. My life was pretty desperate at the end, but, like, I could mask that and sugarcoat that into me sitting around, smoking all day long, smoking pot all day long, taking pills and drinking to get to the point where I could go out with my friends. And that 3 or 4 hours that I was with my friends was the giggle left in the bottle. And that was really the only happiness that I had in my life at the very end. And so, the first time that somebody kind of like pointed that out to me and was like, yeah, but like really what is your life other than just going out for a couple hours a day? That was awareness. See, I could see that, but I didn't need it shoved down my throat. And I don't believe shoving things down people's throat help at all. I think that we have to like be there and be present for them if they want the help, and be compassionate and kind in how we're going to do it. I have never in my life, like, here's the thing. Like, when you talk about tough love or somebody being hard on you or being tough on you, yes, I have made changes as a result of that, but only when I want that person in my life to be that to me, if that makes sense. Like, sponsors that I've had, when they are, like, very tough on me, I appreciate that. I don't necessarily love it at the time, but I appreciate it because I've asked for them to be in my life and that, It's like when you have a coach on a, some kind of sports team. It's like, yeah, you might be pissed at your coach, or you might be pissed at like he's driving you so hard or she's driving you so hard, but the reality is your coach wants you to be the best athlete you possibly can be, so you accept it, right? And that's the acceptance piece. So I'm okay taking that from me, but like, or taking that from people, but when it's like somebody I didn't ask, like my Aunt Judy, which I don't even have one, but let's just say if my Aunt Judy was like, well, I'd be like, blow it out your ass. You know what I mean? I didn't ask for you. But if my Aunt Judy came to me and said, I'm really worried about you, which I had a few people that said that to me, those people were the ones that I went to afterwards because I felt safe to do that. Awareness is huge. Awareness of any kind of problem in our lives, awareness of any like change that we need to make, awareness has to happen first. And sometimes, It's like, I remember watching this, I've heard this in a lot of different books that I've read and things like that, but Oprah interviewed the girl, and I can't remember what the show she was on. It wasn't Family Ties. Oh gosh, it was the other one. She's a sister that's an actress too, but anyway, it doesn't matter. But she got arrested for driving with her kids in the car, and she had been drinking. Why can't I think of her name? I can see it. It's with the Kirk Cameron was in the show too. But anyway, and Oprah said to her, like, so was that the first time that you were aware that there was a problem? And she said no. And Oprah said, so getting pulled over by the police with your kids in the car and you've been drinking, like, that's not the first time that you knew there was a problem. And she said, oh, absolutely not. And Oprah said to her, you know, things come to us first as like a whisper, then as a feather, you know, then as a dirt pile, then a brick wall, then a mountain, you know? And it's like, that's how it happens. That's how awareness happens to us. Awareness doesn't just come right to us like that. It slowly creeps up on us, you know? We hear things, the same things over and over and over again until we really get it, which is why I'm a believer that lessons are repeated until they are learned. And they will be, and your life will prove that. So get with the program and get aware real quick. If there's something in your life that you've been ignoring, you're like, it's gonna go away, it's not gonna go away. It's just gonna keep on repeating itself until it's learned. So, okay, the next one is letting go of self-criticism, which I think is such a fantastic meditation always, you know, or any way of thinking. It's like we are our own worst enemies, okay? We write that tape in our head that just tells us we aren't good enough and we can't achieve anything, and it's absolute crap. We've got to end it. We've got to stop it, okay? Look how far we've come. It's good to, this is for today, letting go of self-criticism. Look how far we've come. It's good to focus on the task ahead, on what remains to be done. It's important to stop and feel pleased about what we've accomplished too. Yes, it may seem that the change has been slow. At times, change is grueling. Yes, we've taken steps backward. But we're right where we're supposed to be. We're right where we need to be. And we have come so far. Sometimes by leaps, sometimes with tiny steps. Sometimes kicking and screaming all the while. Sometimes with sleeves rolled up and white knuckles. We've learned, grown, changed. Look how far we've come. Today I will appreciate my progress. I will let myself feel good about what has been accomplished. Did you guys see me getting teary-eyed as I was reading that? Okay, let me tell you what was going on as I was reading this. So this whole idea of when I got to yes, it may seem that the change has been slow. At times, change is grueling. Yes, we've taken steps backward, but we're right where we're supposed to be. We're right where we need to be. And when I read these meditations often, I'm thinking of like examples that I can use for this. And I was thinking about like writing my book first, right? And that like, I can remember sitting down, and I actually wrote the ending first before I went back and wrote the beginning because I wanted to be able to frame it and I knew how I wanted it to end. So I started with the ending and then I went back and wrote the beginning, and I had an outline. I should do a video on how I wrote my book. So many people ask me, they're like, can you tell us how you wrote your book? But I literally just wrote a bunch of ideas down, and then I put it in like outline form, and then I just went off the outline, turned the outline into chapters, and that's what I did. But anyway, but you know, like sitting down and writing, just like, I remember when I finally had that last page written and then I could start the book, and I called Alex, my husband, and I was like, I got it done. Like I got he goes, you got the book done? I go, no, I got the ending done. Now I can go start the book, you know? But it like all kind of fell into place for me after that. Well, so I was thinking about that, but what really got me emotional was that, so in my home group meeting that I go to in recovery, we have this little thing that we do, and when people get, you know, long-term sobriety, or like if they get a birthday or whatever, typically people that have been coming to the meeting for, you know, 10, 20, 40 years. There's a lot of people in my meeting that have 30 plus years of sobriety in my home group. And one of the things they'll be like, you know, if somebody gets, let's say, you know, 35 years, they'll say, well, how did you do it? And they'll say, one day at a time. And it's so true, you know, like I don't know really how I made it here, you know? Sober, I don't. Except for that I know that I just put one foot in front of the other. And I did what I was told, begrudgingly sometimes, but I did what I was told. And when I didn't, I learned from those lessons too. You know, and I think that that is one of the things that we, you know, don't really talk much about, is the idea of human failure and the importance of human failure and the importance of making mistakes. And I learned more from making mistakes and human failure than I learned from human success. I really do. And, but it's about the act of not repeating those things, continuing to grow and becoming a different person. And the idea of continuing to take life one day at a time. So, anyway, I hope those meditations were helpful for you guys. Now I'm deep in thought. And I'm ready to go out and listen to my Harry Potter book for a little bit because I'm trying to get through Goblet of Fire and enjoy the snow. And yeah, so I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let me know what you thought of the meditations below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.